You're listening to What She Grows Through, a podcast dedicated to empower and uplift Black women to grow their self-worth. I'm your host, Shanell Lamere, one of many dope Black women, creating a community for us to pour into and align with one another, uncovering our true feelings from sexuality to self-love, to begin growing through life and evolving into our best authentic selves. Let's get started. What's up, beautiful? It's your girl, Shanell Lamere, back again with the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. How's it going? How's your 2023 so far? Like, my baby girl, her birthday just passed. Thank goodness. She turned 2 and giving me the quote unquote terribleness. No, that's my boo, but she's definitely been on this terrible 2 wave. So yes, I've been out here trying to mommy and do all the things. And if you listen to the previous episode, we're on this be her now mantra, and I'm working. So today we have a special guest on the show, a beautiful soul who's been here before, and I just wanted to share our convo. It got so deep. We manifested an actual women's entrepreneur collaboration together that's coming up on the 25th of this month. And I'm just so excited. But I'm not going to talk your head off. We did a lot of that in this episode. And I just want to jump all the way in so that you can get some of these gems that we drop. So tune in. What's up, beautiful? It's your girl, Shanell Lamere, back again with the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. So we have the beautiful Mrs. Whitney Magumba of Kodak Styles in the building, and we're going to talk all the things entrepreneur. So, how are you?
I am feeling so lovely. How are you?
I'm good after I just struggled to get that introduction out, but I mean, we here with it.
Listen, we just gotta flow with it. We gotta go with the flow with life. So that's what we here. That's what we doing. We're going with the flow.
Exactly. So, do you want to just refresh our listeners on who you are in this moment and how you're showing up for 2023? Any goals? I mean, we can get into it, but let's just start off with who you are in this moment coming on 2023.
Okay, so in 2023, I am Whitney first. I put myself first. Okay. I am a loving wife and a mother to a beautiful son. But like I said, I'm Whitney first. So when it comes to me, I'm loving on me. I'm doing a lot of self-care, a lot of just inner healing. I'm reaping the benefits of the inner healing that I started in 2022. When we did our last podcast, I was talking about my son and how, being a stay-at-home mom and how everything has just been on a roller coaster. So now that roller coaster has come to a more smoother ride and just getting the hang of it, there's a lot of things that thank you. There's a lot of things that I'm actually just ready to focus on and go through with, and part of that is, I opened up my salon suite back in December of 2022. And I was really grateful for just being able to open it up and get the ball rolling. But there's so much more that I actually want to do with my brand and everything like that.
And I'm pretty sure we're
Yeah.
gonna get all the way into that in
Yeah.
the episode, like all the things that you're doing and everything. So this year that I've been having this mantra, and you already know, I've been telling you this last year, like,
Period.
trying to get prepared for 2023 because 2022 was just so trying, but it allowed us to see how strong we really are, right? So
Mm.
2023, the mantra that I'm stand by is be her now. So all the things that you want to do, like just everything. Who is that person first? And how can we be her? So like what if we were intentional about how we decided to choose our lives like every day instead of like last year. I mean, I was going day by day, putting out fires day by day. I'm literally crawling to the finish line, but I don't want to do that this year. Like I want to be that woman that I see myself becoming. So how do we get to do those things? And I see that the woman that you're becoming, seeing the smile that you have, like it's definitely refreshing. But
Yeah.
just seeing the difference between last year and this year is a big difference, and we can appreciate, who we are right now in this moment, and now we just get the benefits of expanding that,
Mm. Yes.
right?
It just being present in the moment, you
Right.
know, being able to thrive in the present moment is the gift of all times.
Right.
Like right now, I'm talking to you, I'm living in the present, I'm being in the present, I'm experiencing the present, so we all typically feel like sometimes we gotta be her for tomorrow, be her from the past, and instead of being her for now. So I really love your concept of being able to be in the now, be who
Right.
you want to be now.
Right. And I love that we can align. Like there's so many different similarities. I was just talking to you about that. I was like, we have a good balance. Like it's not that we're yin and yang because we have a lot of similarities, but I like that a lot of the things that you're doing and that you are and how you show up, it aligns so much with like, the things that I'm doing. And just the fact that our kids were born on the same day,
Same
just
day. Yes.
it just means something, right?
Yes, it's definitely something is like, hey.
Right, right. So in terms of just like entrepreneurship, right? Like do you want to just dive into like where you are like on your entrepreneur journey, and maybe one thing that you would like to focus on in the new year?
So in the year 2023, a part of my entrepreneurship journey is to be a better businesswoman.
Right.
And in order to be a better businesswoman, I had to take care of myself first. And in order to take care of self first, I had to really do a lot of digging deep, a lot of inner child healing. And I'm still on that journey. I still see my therapist. I still journal. I still work out. I still, do the things that I need to do in order to be a better me. So in 2023, I want to reap the fruits of my labor.
Right.
From me just actually being consistent and disciplined. I was watching a podcast with B. Simone, and she was talking about, I don't want to be thinner. And, not that I don't want to be thinner, but her goal isn't to become thinner. Her goal is to become more disciplined. Her goal is to become more consistent, and all the things that she wants will align.
Right.
And so that's my motto. It's like, you said it, sis. You know what I'm saying? And everything that I've been doing, I've been in the gym since September, and I am reaping the benefits of it. I've been taking care of myself and journaling and praying and meditating. So that's why I'm more clear. I'm allowing certain friendships and certain situations to fall where it needs to fall in the season that it needs to be in. I'm learning to trust and let go. So whenever it comes to the business, I no longer am putting business and personal in the same category as I did before. I'm now coming to you. This is me. This is my business, and this is how it's going to go. And we can be friends on a business level, or we can be friends on a personal and know the difference. I think this year it's just more so, like I said, establishing my business and making sure that my business is running smoothly as a Black business owner. You know, a lot of us, we get a lot of slack and say, oh, Black businesses is this, that, and the third. When you come into my salon, you get the full experience, you know. So like the Kodak Styles, when you come to my salon, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, it's in a very prominent area. But when you come into my salon space, you feel like you're in a spa. You feel like you're ready to relax. You got a scent of lavender in the atmosphere. You got some nice music going on of your choice. You have not only, listen, it's all vibes, all great energy. And listen, I'm not a stylist that's like a quickie. It's not an in and out service. It's more of a slow pace, nice, easy going. You're going to feel everything. You're going to feel the scalp treatment. You're going to feel that nice, cold, icy hot feeling on your scalp when you're under the steamer. When you're getting that infrared light, you're going to feel like your scalp is being rejuvenated. When you're getting that wash and conditioning, you're going to feel my hands, not my nails, but my hands rubbing against the scalp and getting it to where it needs to get done. And
so we're visualizing like, okay, give it all.
Period. And then once you get the blow drying service, it's not a tangle situation. It's just a nice
love.
Yes, everything that I do is with love. You even got the hot, steamy eye patches on your eyes as you're laying and getting your hair washed and done. And when you move on to the blow dryer, you feel real relaxed. And the flat iron is not relaxing your curl to the point where you ain't gonna be able to get your curls back, but your curls is going to be popping and rejuvenated from that nice trim or cut that you may or may not need. See, the key to being a great hairstylist is loving what you do and doing it with purpose, on purpose. I got that from one of my sister friends. That's one of her things, you know, do everything with purpose, on purpose. And I love it because it's just like everything that you do should have intent behind it and a loving one at that. So it's just like, for me, my business is going to grow because I love what I do. And my clients know it too. Yes. That's a phenomenal process. So I hope that I was able to answer your question in regards of where I see myself at with my business. I see a lot of growth. I see a lot of growth in my business. I see a lot of growth within me through my business.
I love that. I love that you were able to take us on a journey of, you know, how it would be to be your client. So, absolutely. And you can just how you described it, just made it shows that you actually are passionate about what you do. And the best thing is you get to do this as a profession. And
yes,
I also like that you are aware, very self-aware, that it takes a lot to be an entrepreneur, to run a business. So it's a lot of self-work because you can get lost in your business.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what you're doing. And it can get to the point where it might not feel as good because you got all these other things that are in the way, basically. So being able to provide yourself some balance, allowing yourself that self-care of what you were talking about, journaling, being able to meditate, being able to recognize when you're not okay, and trying to use certain coping skills that would be beneficial for you, but just knowing that doing those things will get your mind right back into it. Because I mean, this thing is tough, especially small Black businesses, when we're doing things all on our own and we don't really have all the help that we would like. You know what I mean? But I love that you already put some gems in the air of how you're able to grow through your journey as an entrepreneur. And I definitely want to just talk about how it is for me as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Um just I mean, I just feel real inspired that you were able to just explain and share. So it inspired me because I feel like what I do is very purposeful also. Sometimes it's scary how much it is and how much, I have to continue to work on myself. And by working on myself, I could be a better person and better mom and businesswoman and all that for other people. Like, so when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a business owner, it stops being just about you, but then it is about you because you got to be the one to oversee all of this stuff. Like, so I don't even know where I'm going with that. But anyway, just in terms of Shanell Lamere films, being able to capture other people being in the moment, I think that's beautiful. But it also sheds light to areas that I wish that I can have in my life sometimes. Like, if I'm filming like a love story or something like that, then I think like, damn, like I wish that I can have some stuff like that. And I know that I will, but I'm just saying, in that moment, when you see other people, when you see this man look at his wife, when they do their little vows together, you be emotional, and I'm appreciative that I get to be able to film that, but also taking that in and being grateful and just knowing my time will come. But I enjoy it. I enjoy being able to preserve the moments and do that as a profession. But it's tough because we have all these other titles that we have to do. So I put together a couple of gems that I think would be really good in terms of, well, that you and whoever's listening, if you are listening, beautiful, to just take into consideration to incorporate on your Be Her Now mantra. Like, I got a couple, and I just wanted to go over them with you, Whitney, and we can talk about it. All right.
Okay.
So the first one is just to accept your resistance. So focusing on, the process, being able to take the steps into that big goal, accept that we're going to feel afraid. And we just was talking about this, like fear is a part of it. We gotta, what is it? It's not fake it till you make it. It's face it till you make it. Like we got to feel the fear and do it anyway. All these different quotes that we can incorporate, but we got to know that fear is there. It's an emotion, but when used the right way, it proves that we doing something right. So, do you have any what do you think about that? How about that? Like, do you have any insights on that? Like,
I love everything that you're saying. Instead of faking it until you make it, face it. And I think that, you know, rewording or reshaping the way that you look at fear, or the way that you think about failure, because failure is associated with fear. And so when you reshape that, I believe that your whole mindset as an entrepreneur will change as well.
Right.
And not being afraid of fear. Like a while ago, I wrote in my journal, I wrote a letter to fear. And I allowed myself to be vulnerable with fear. And I allowed fear to know that you will always coexist, because you are an emotion that stopped me from doing certain things that may be harmful, or that may not be good for me. Mm-hmm. But you also are not the driver of my car. So therefore, fear, you need to sit your ass in the back seat. I know that you're there, but you do not control my radio or my steering wheel, because I'm driving this ship. And I'm going to respect you, and you're going to respect me, because I have boundaries, and I'm facing my fear, and I'm doing it afraid. I'm doing it while facing it. Mm-hmm. I'm doing it because I have to. On the opposite side of fear, there is so much happiness,
everything
and joy.
That you can dream for.
Exactly. So again, I really love how you reworded that and talking.
I love how you hype me up a little bit, because like I feel like I don't be saying things like the right way, and then you be like, I love how you just said that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe it was good. And then like you just piggybacking off of mine. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to give out. Like, yes, like in terms of fear. So I was reading this book, and it's talking about, you know, how your thoughts become things, right? So like all these negative emotions, us as human beings, we always will focus on the negative emotions, because the whole survival thing, or, you know, all this, like.
But basically, when it comes to fear, it's really instilled. Like, we already have that emotion, but we bring that emotion out even more to get people to do what we want them to do as a society. So there's a lot of things behind fear. Maybe sometimes fear
it's not a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but as long as you acknowledge that you're fearful, that you're scared, that you're sad, like if you
are cautious. Some people misinterpret fear for being cautious. When you're cautious of something, if you see a freaking copperhead on the floor, are you just gonna pick it up?
What's a copperhead?
You think about a snake.
Like, I don't know what that is. Is it a nail?
It's a snake, and it's a very bad snake. You don't want that snake to bite you.
How you know about?
But snakes?
I said, how you know about snakes?
Because it's in Georgia.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So
okay, so get the hell out of there. If you see, I'm a Google what copperheads look like, but for sure,
copper. They look like a copper.
Oh my goodness!
Long, nice, long, pretty thing. Yeah. That it be rattling. That motherfucker bites you. You better have the venom.
I'm away from all snakes. I don't do snakes anyway, so I'll be okay. Like, yes, a wrap.
She said, "Nah, baby, it's a wrap, honey.
Right.
I don't need to know if it's a garden snake, copper snake, whatever. I'm out."
Right.
But see, that's another thing too. It's like some of that was put in fear. Like, why are we afraid of snakes? Why are we afraid of spiders? What have a spider done to you? What have a snake done to you? You know, there's a lot of things that kind of was instilled in you that you don't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot. Like we gotta unlearn a lot of things, but just being aware that that thoughts do become things. So we get to choose on what thoughts that we want to keep and what thoughts that we want to just allow it to like you said, be in the back. You can I'm happy you're here, but you gotta be back there. Like, because right now it's me and happiness and growth and stuff up here in the front seat. Like, so
no, for real. And you know what? Every emotion you can feel. I learned this from my therapist. It's okay to have or to experience two emotions at one time. That is very normal. You can be very much scared and happy at the same time. You can be you can have so many different types of emotions. A lot of people don't even know about emotional words. They don't even know there's a whole list of emotional words. It's a whole thing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you be saying, "Oh, I'm tired," when you're exhausted. You know, there's so many different ways of, but that's a whole different story. And that's a part of the journey. That's a part of the journey is unlearning. You have to be able to face it so that you can unlearn it and relearn what it is that is necessary for you in your season of growth, and so that you can be a better mother, so that you can be a better father, so that you can be a better person for yourself.
Exactly.
All this is just tools to make you better. That's just it.
Right, exactly. And I love that you said that. I think it's a good segue to the next gem that I have, is just creating a compelling vision for yourself. And I say compelling because it goes along with your why. You gotta gain that clarity. Like, clarity was a big deal for me in 2022. Like, I've never been so clear in my life. So as I'm growing along this journey, like, a lot of the fog is dissipating. Like, I'm starting to see so far ahead, but you gotta keep doing that though. Like, you know, you gotta know who you are, you gotta know where you're going. And a lot of people don't know who they are because, like you were just saying, we were programmed. However we grew up, what our environment, what our parents was teaching us based off of the stuff, the knowledge that they had, that they thought was you know, doing the best that they can. You know, we got to figure out who it is that we are without all the labels, and figuring out what's important. The vision, it has to make sense. It has to feel like something, because what else, what are you doing? So you gotta get clear. You gotta get clear on what you're trying to do for your business, how you want to show up for your business. What's your values? You gotta learn values. People don't even know what a value is. It's completely different than a goal. So, like, how are you showing up? So you got to get clear about that. You got anything you want to?
Well, you know, when it comes to vision, and the only reason why I'm going to say it like this because I'm a visionary.
There you are. I got that in my notes.
But when it comes to vision, you have to understand that the vision may change.
Right.
As you are going through the process. Mm-hmm. And being able to say that I'm not attached to that vision that God gave me, or the vision that I gave myself, but I thought it was God driven.
Right.
Or I'm not attached to it. I'm just going with what I have in my mind at this particular moment. I think sometimes we be so stuck on how it was supposed to be versus how it is going to be.
Right.
They say it's supposed to happen for you. It's happening. It's
Instead of to
happening for
you.
you. It's not to you. And so there's a lot of different sayings that people have, but the end all to be all is when you have a vision, or when you're going in a certain direction, you always have to be mindful that things may not go your way. Things may change.
Listen, we are
It
on the
may
same page, girl. Go ahead.
things may get interrupted,
right,
to give you better knowledge, to help you grow, to help you avoid maybe something that may be in the road that you probably wouldn't have known how to handle if you hadn't been through XYZ.
Exactly.
Quit expecting your vision to be clear. The vision that God gives you in your mind don't often come out on paper exactly how it was in your mind.
Right.
But trust and believe that the vision that He allows you to deliver is what is necessary for the people to see. And being a visionary is difficult sometimes to get people who are just doers to see exactly what you are saying. So that's why sometimes you get some visionaries that have to do it themselves because they don't know how to actually articulate what it is that was placed on their heart.
But that's also a learning curve that they have to grow through as well, because a lot of visionaries, it depends on what it is, but
yes,
that like you're saying, the vision, but sometimes the vision is just for you, it's not for someone else, you know. So I mean, you can try to communicate as much as you can, but sometimes it's just for your knowledge, for your path. And like you're saying, you got to expect that backsliding. Like, it's going to happen. You got to accept that. Yes. But what we can do now is put systems in place that can help us during those times. We got automation. We got all these different things. We got Planoly. We got Notion. These are just little areas as an entrepreneur. But then we also got to think about like our toolbox. And when we're not feeling all the way together, like, what are we using to cope? So I like that you were basically saying that you got to expect that. But I think I like that you said that, because there was another one of the goals that I was talking about, like just being able to know that there's going to be moderations. We got to be honest with ourselves. We can't put so much on our plate at all times, but then we got to be mindful of where we're at, being able to utilize the journaling so that we can make those micro adjustments as we're going along on our journey. Because like you said, I mean, the vision isn't always clear. It might be clear a couple feet, like 50 feet, but like down the road, you don't know. But being able to accept that there might be a creek on this road, you know what I mean? But being able to write that down, like, yeah, it was a wild day along my journey, but like, what can I do? What can I gain from that? What can I take and utilize that so that it can be, I can be better equipped as I keep going. So knowing that it takes progress, it's a marathon, right? And I think the best thing about like journaling and reflecting is we get to be able to do these things in real time. So we're making these micro adjustments right now in the moment, knowing that it's important so that we can reflect on it and change who we said, change to be able to change into or evolve into the person that we want to become, so that years down the road, when it's 10, 20 years from now, we're not looking back at our lives wishing that we was doing something else. No, because we were able to write that down and figure out, is this how I want to live? Is this how I want to show up? I know that it was hard for me, but I got back up, and being able to take it easy on yourself, lighten up a little bit on yourself, like giving yourself grace. We always beat ourselves up, but knowing that like this is literally what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. We'll always be on this journey. We'll always be growing. It's never ending. But like, how can we continue to just live by our values, be the best person that we can be, so that at the end we're fulfilled, and we can pour into other people like along the way, so that they, we're an inspiration a little bit to other people. So
I agree.
I could go on and on,
No, I think you're on to a great spiel as far as the audience. They need to know exactly where we're coming from in regards of giving yourself grace and being able to know that entrepreneurship isn't meant to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's meant to challenge you. And it's discipline, it's persistent, it's consistent. You have to, in order to run a business, you have to have some type of core values. You have to have some type of stigma. What's it called? When you stigma, is it stigma?
Stamina.
Stamina. Yeah, you have to have that. You have to have stigma. Or let me use a different word, okay? So you can blurt that part out. But you have to be able to give yourself grace.
Right.
And you have to be able to be disciplined. You have to be able to say, I'm going to be on this train, whether or not it's swerving or it's steady.
Right.
You have to make that commitment to yourself. Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. So the last thing that I have, like this all like aligns with each other. And just like you're saying, like you just got to have that stamina, like continue to set those mini goals, like, you got to continue to cultivate, like you were saying, like that physical energy, being honest with yourself, being mentally there. If you need to get a therapist, just knowing that you're going to lose confidence, like over time, sometimes it's going to happen, but just the big thing is knowing that having big goals, make sure you don't tie those big goals to your happiness. Like,
that's a big thing.
Right.
That's a big thing.
You got to be happy now. It doesn't matter if you're not, you could be working on a goal. A goal can be 5 years long. What? So you're not going to be happy until you reach this? No, you got to be happy right now.
And I want to put so much emphasis on the now. Happiness is from within. If you're not internally cool, wait to start that business. Put your business on hold.
Right.
You have to do some inner healing.
Get the help.
Because everything you touch with your business, the people you touch, everything is going to be who you are now. It's just like, if I'm angry, I'm attract angry people. I may get a couple happy people, but them happy people, I might be draining them.
Right.
So you have to, people just think that you have a business, and I'm not even going to say people.
It's just sweet.
In my experience, in my experience, I've been around people who say, well, this is just business, but their values suck.
Mm-hmm.
Your core values reflecting your business. If your core values is shiesty or all crazy stuff, it's going to reflect in your business, how you do business.
But a vision, but a value like I'm trying to think of like a value, like being courageous, like, or having integrity, like, or being authentic. I don't know, like, you can have those kind of things.
Listen, love follows me everywhere. Love is one of my core values.
There you
go. Love
follow
me everywhere. I do everything with love. Whether it's business, whether it's personal, I do it with love. Yep. And that's why I'm able to attract the people I attract. Exactly. My actions sometimes may not seem like it's a lovable action, because I'm human too. Shit might be messed up at the house, or something might be going on with me mentally. I'm still breastfeeding, so my hormones might be up and down. So I may or may not say something that is in love, but I'm woman enough, and I'm a business person too, that if I messed up in an area, I need to correct it. Especially if it's brought up to my attention, so that's my core. Love is one of my core values. So if I'm not doing it out of love, and I'm doing it on some old other type business, then I need to take a step back and say, Whitney, and hold myself accountable.
Right.
And accountability looks different to other people. Me holding myself accountable for what you think I'm supposed to hold myself accountable for is not accountability for me. Accountability for me is me acknowledging whatever it is that I done wrong and it didn't sit right with my spirit, or it may or may not have to sit right with my spirit, but the fact that I did it and it inflicted some type of pain or some type of whatever onto somebody,
right?
I have to correct it. I have to not gaslight, but I have to correct it. So I say all that to say that your core values show up through your business.
Right.
So if you aren't happy within, and I know we ain't talking about marriage, but don't think a man is supposed to complete you. He's supposed to
or other things. You. Even a child. Don't think a child is supposed to complete you. Don't think like you have to figure out how you can complete yourself. Those things are add-ons, bonuses.
Exactly. Everything is an add-on. Mm-hmm. Your business is just like I was telling one of my girlfriends who's also an entrepreneur. I said, if we can't manage $2 and we keep asking God to bless us with millions of dollars,
how you think you're going to manage that?
We keep talking about fill our plates up, and we got cornbread, stuffing, macaroni and cheese already on our plate, and we ain't even eat what we got, or we ain't even said grace to say thank you for what we got on our plate. Right. But we want God to give us some of them spare ribs and some of them oxtails, or
right.
You gotta be grateful what you got on that plate and start eating, and then next thing you know, right. You be like, "Dang, them ribs showed up. They showed up right on time."
Right.
Because everything is always on time.
Exactly. And I love that there's this saying, they say, wherever you go, there you are. Deep. Like, you gotta. I ain't even going to say nothing to that. Wherever you go, there you are.
Period.
So with that, just like, I love that you just all the stuff. I feel like we got to do something. Like, we got to do something together, because the way we just be vibing together, like, something gotta happen. Like, let's do something. Like, what you thinking?
So in the past, we even vibing with the same color on. I'm feeling like I might have copied or something. You know what I'm saying? we vibing like that. You know what I'm saying? So, as you know, you filmed my entrepreneur luncheon. So you guys, I told you about the Kodak Styles here. I told you guys about the Kodak Styles here experience, but I did not tell you about the networking experience of Kodak Styles. So Kodak Styles is the umbrella of a lot of different ventures that's going to be coming about that you guys see in the future. But one of the things that I do is I host networking events. So right before COVID had happened, I went back to my hometown, which is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I hosted a Kodak Styles entrepreneur, women entrepreneur luncheon. Yes. And it was amazing. The room was full of love, and we had great food. Shout out Chef Lisa.
I was able to just capture the beautifulness. Like, I just remember
Shanell Lamere Films was in there.
How we started getting close to each other. Like, we been in it, but I'm just saying, like, and I just saw all the dope things that you are doing. Like, I feel like we need to do something. We need to collaborate. We need to do another one. Like, I feel like we can manifest this. Like,
you think we could do something like this year?
Yes. Like, let's do it. Let's put something together. Let's put another women's entrepreneur lunch in collaboration with Kodak Styles and what she grows through.
So you think we could do it? You think we could do that in February?
What's the day? January? I think we could do it. What you think?
I mean, because let's
do it. I'm ready. Like,
okay, because the
message is there.
Like, the message
is the message is there, and then we can utilize Shanell Lamere Films to be able to capture this dope moment and be able to share with all you beautiful people listening, and just being able to just get inspired, connect, and just get poured all the way in. We have to be able to connect with each other. That's a big thing for me. That's my value, connection.
Yeah. So the point of the entrepreneur luncheon is to restore unity in our women's entrepreneur community. It's really all about connection, and when you are connecting, you are not only growing, but you're able to be put in rooms that you probably could have never imagined you will be in.
Right.
So I'm just encouraging that when Shanell and I put our brains together and we start throwing things out there,
right? Like,
I need y'all to hop on, because y'all don't want to miss this shit.
Be a part of something dope. Be a part of something beautiful. Be a part of just the entrepreneur. You have to start gaining your community, gaining the people around you to help lift you up and support you during being an entrepreneur. You can't do this alone. Nobody wants to do it alone. And they say that if you want to go far and become a millionaire and become big, you got to be able to make those connections, to do it with other like-minded people, to align with other people. So let's do it. Like, be on the lookout for those tickets. We'll have a virtual one too, right?
Yes.
We'll make it virtual so that other people can be in the building if you're not in Pittsburgh. But it's gonna be a dope experience. We are putting this together. We are manifesting this right now. Come out in February. Kodak Styles and what
actually we're gonna put a flyer out sooner than later.
Yes, we doing this right now.
You know what I'm saying?
We putting it out right now.
We're gonna put it out right now.
That this is where we manifested this right now. So what's
and
up?
Then too, we're gonna have some speakers You
Yes.
know, we
Other
both
people,
are
other
connected.
entrepreneurs.
Yes, we both are connected with so many dope women that are entrepreneurs and who are very knowledgeable. And the goal is just to really make sure that everybody is utilizing their skill sets to their best ability and
And
being
network.
able to
Make
and
new
being able
connections.
to make the connection. So like, you know, just like I might have a friend who does this and does that, and they don't know each other, and so what do? You just put them together, boom, and
Right.
that's how magic happens, you know. And you don't have to, you know, this no new friends thing is going to keep you impoverished level.
Right.
It's not going to
That's
allow
that
you to
crabs in a
grow.
barrel mentality. And we're
Yeah,
all
like
about
you can
growth
make
mindsets, being open
you can
minded.
definitely make a lot of great business relationships happen and work. You just have to be consistent, and you have to stay true to your word, and you have to, and not everybody's meant to do business together, but at the same time we want to stay on the positive note of just knowing that you have a space, or we're going to create a space for you all to be able to network and listen to people's stories and maybe do some workshops.
I love it. Let's do it. And on that note, thank you for just coming and just pouring and just vibing with me, because we just do it just so well. Like, even if we mess up, we just keep going. And, you know, like, I just love that about us. And I'm pretty sure we will have you back on the show. And yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you. First, let me say thank you for having me on your show. You're such an amazing interviewer and podcast person. I cannot wait to be able to step into the podcast lane because I feel like I have so much to give. But right now, I'm taking it slow on my season, and I just really, really am appreciative for you having me on here for the second time. Yes. And my son didn't even come on the camera, so it was like,
but the seed was planted though. Like what you're just saying right now, the seed is planted. So now we just got a little sprinkle it, tend to it a little bit every day, a little something, write it down. Like, what is something else I can talk about? How can I do this? How can I start building this thing up that I want to do? And then it'll already be done. You look back at it like, damn.
Voila. Magic.
Look back at it like you
look back at it. Yeah, look back at it. That's funny because I just thought about it the time when we used to go. I used to always see you at college parties.
Doing the most.
You was on the dance floor.
Like, I used to go way too hard for no reason. Like, oh my God.
You used to have thick ass heels.
High as hell. Still not tall. It was the visual. It was not to be tall. It was to be tall a little bit, but more so like this.
Yeah, but it's definitely a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. I hope you were able to take away some gems while growing through your entrepreneurial journey. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, there were a lot of gems that you can consider incorporating into your life, including being in spaces with other like-minded women. I will put all the information discussed in the show notes, and please rate the show 5 stars to support and just help other Black women to find us and connect. And if you would like to connect a little bit further, then definitely head over to our socials on Instagram and Facebook at What She Grows Through. We are also on YouTube, so definitely go over there and subscribe, and definitely look out for the actual visual of this episode. Well, I look forward to talking with you again. Until then.